Hey there, YouTube friends. maskedbandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me again. I always do appreciate it, and we are back with more Planet Zoo for you today. This is episode 2 of our Planet Zoo beta series, and it's a new zoo. It's a new zoo. This is my zoo number 3. 3 zoos in 2 days. I don't know what kind of record it is, but I will tell you what. Franchise mode, not for me. If I've learned one thing in this beta, it's that I don't want an actual game in my game. For all of you people who are all about management and stuff, I am more than pleased for you. I think you're really going to like this. I'm sure the campaign will be lots of fun. And even this franchise mode has its merits, but just give me everything and let me go to town. Give me my animal box of Legos and let me build. So anyway, decided to start fresh here now that I've been playing for a little bit, learned a couple tips and tricks, decided to do a little bit more architecturally interesting things than we did in the previous episode. And I finally try like a legit habitat in this episode. Our bears actually we get a bear and we get a really nice place to live. But anyway, using some art shapes here. There's a Planet Coaster technique that I've been using for a long time to do some roofs when you don't have a roof, because the Planet Coaster roofs and the Planet Zoo roofs are really thick and they poke out above the line of the walls, and I don't like that very much. So I tend to use that a lot. I tend to use art shapes a lot as roofs when push comes to shove. I need to unlock some more scenery. Hopefully sticking with a zoo for more than a couple hours will allow me to research all the new scenery that's hiding behind those research walls. I have to say, one of the biggest reasons I don't like this franchise mode, and it's nothing against Frontier, I don't want to have to research. I hate the way research works. It's very similar to how it worked in Jurassic World. You basically click the research button, you wait for it to cool down, and then your research is unlocked, and then you click it again. Like, okay, I have to physically drag the trainer in. Yeah, I get that. And I guess there's a tweak that sometimes trainers will have to do other jobs, so they won't be able to research, or not trainers, vets. They'll do other jobs, or your mechanics. I get that, but just give me everything. Just give me all the pieces. This is so hard. This is so hard for me to not be able to do what I want, when I want, how I want it, to kind of have to play by the rules of the game. I don't like that. I don't like that. I really am not a fan. So anyway, this was going to be a turtle habitat, and I couldn't get any turtles on the exchange, and so the adoption, whatever it's called. So I had to improvise, and so what we end up making here is some antelope. I forget which kind. They're the really dark ones with like the white stripes on their face. They begin with an S. I don't know my animal names. They were available and they let me download, so I got those. I was so happy that I was able to grab a bear too. So I am building this with turtles in mind, which is why it's really small. If you're thinking, oh my god, for like antelope, yeah, it's really small. I know, but I make it bigger once I realize what kind of animals I have to deal with. And I am not really thrilled with the animal houses. However, like looking at zoos, a lot of times the animal houses are really utilitarian and not very nice looking at all. I think about like at the Brookfield Zoo, sometimes you can see it's just a barn. Like it's basically a barn for these for like antelopes and stuff. I mean, it makes sense to me. It doesn't bother me so much. So once we unlock more scenery pieces, I think it'll be better. So I'm going to try to do that as soon as I'm done recording this video. Actually, I'm going to hop back in and play some more. So there's our fencing. Since we're switching gears here, I figured chain link fence would be good here for the animals. It seems awfully high, but I guess these animals can jump as I cut it out of the time lapse, but you're going to see just for a split second once I put them in there. So I put them in, and everything's hunky-dory, and get their terrain all set up. They like short grass, and one of the things that's actually really kind of cool is that this is a savanna animal, so it really doesn't care about trees in your habitat. I put some in anyway, just because it looks nice, and I wanted it to look nice. So, and I like the idea of using terrain and the in-game water rather than the water like troughs. I like that so much. I like the look of a pond so much better. So hopefully, I'm assuming they're drinking from it. I haven't heard otherwise. The game hasn't told me they're dying of thirst or anything. One of the tricks I've been doing is where I don't want people to go, you make it a thing where they can't see. I guess it's not really a trick, but it's a good idea to use taller wall barriers to block the view. That way they'll stand kind of where you want them to stand, and then you can totally scam them and put all of your donation bins there. So still not quite sure how these null barriers work. Like it doesn't actually add a barrier, so I don't know. But I was checking to see, oh good, it's not, they won't be able to escape. So I lower defenses check again, and suddenly they can escape from everywhere. So do an oh crap, try to move the fences up, end up moving the entire fence, and they jump out. There they go. I cut the part where I had to capture him. We did capture him. We put him back in there. We raised the fence. Everything's fine. So I had a bunch of guests complaining about food and drink, so I said, fine, here's your standard chief beef and your gulpy. These also come from the Planet Coaster. I love the in-game franchises. I think they're really neat, and the fact that they are in both Planet games, I think is a nice touch. Obviously puts them in the same universe. It's kind of cool. That means that I can start like remaking some of the blueprints that I made in Planet Coaster, like some of the carts and vendors and stuff. Like we can have Mind Gluten and we can have Pucker Up and TFB. I mean, I think that'd be a really neat little way to make the two worlds merge. So decided to make the building kind of extend a little bit, but things are funky with the way the grid works and lining things up with the grid, so it's not as easy as I want it to be. And I really don't want to spend a lot of time on something that I know is not going to be sticking around for forever. So if it looks a little kind of hacked, that's okay, because I really want to fill up space. I want to really see how many animals we can add and stuff once I get comfortable with it and don't abandon it once every couple hours. So, but I'm pretty happy with this. It's very simple, but I don't mind simple. I think it looks okay. After this, I put that in specifically so we could get people over to a new exhibit. And this is the first time I actually really try to put some effort and artistic direction into the exhibit. We're going to add a grizzly bear, and I don't know why, but I have a soft spot for bears. I always like to see the bears. The bears here in Houston, it's hot and it's humid, and no bear wants to live in that. So you don't see them most of the time. Most of the time they're inside their habitat. So that's actually a problem that we got here in this game. This biome is ridiculously hot for grizzly bears, and so I had to actually put stupid chillers down, and this is exactly one of the things I was afraid of. I hate the fact that I could see the mist from the chillers coming up. It totally destroys the realism for me. But if I don't put them in, the animal's going to be unhappy. I'm going to get fined, and the animal may end up being taken away because it's such an important part of its habitat. So that was kind of a bummer, but you can see I'm building a trough here. That's real common in a lot of the bear exhibits I've seen. It might be a little old school, but it works. It absolutely works. Like, with that being there, I probably don't need this barrier because the bear can't get out. Like, I think I could use null fences there and just make custom fencing. In fact, that's something I'm going to try probably for the next exhibit. I'm going to build a trench and see if I can get away. You see how low I get it. Like, that bear could climb out of there if it wanted to. But the simple fact that it's not going to because the trough is really kind of neat. So we put the zookeeper thing in there, hook it up to the main path, and then we give it a nice little cave. And it doesn't need nearly as much hard shelter as I thought it would. I figured it's a bear. We're going to give it a cave, a bear cave, and a mountain, because the bear goes over the mountain, and maybe some honey, because bears love honey, and all the other bear cliches you can think of. But anyway, working on this, this got me really excited, because it was looking really cool, really fast. Like, the game's gorgeous. The one thing you're never going to hear me complain about is the aesthetics or the audio. Like, that is one thing Frontier can absolutely nail. It's so good. Like, I've been tweeting lots of pictures. Well, for me, a lot. And it's because it's so good. It just looks so nice. The mechanics of the game itself, I really don't care about. I want the game to look good. I want to be able to have the freedom to do what I want to do with it. And this is the first time that I really felt like I could kind of flex that creative muscle, because the stuff here to build this habitat wasn't outrageously expensive. So that was pretty cool. And so we built it a little cave. I think it looks pretty all right. I kind of want it to look phony, because obviously it wouldn't be real rock. It would be artificial. And so I kind of wanted it to look that way. And I think I kind of did a pretty decent job with it. I do know, and totally switching gears here, I wanted to get it out before the video's over. Some of you have asked me for tutorials, and there are great tutorials out there. You can watch tutorials by John T, and there's a bunch of people out there. Rudy, I mean, all the big names that are playing right now, they are in the process of putting out tutorials. I'm also going to put out some, because maybe some of you want to hear what I have to say, my specific thoughts on how to build. I think I'm going to do just a general, so you didn't play Planet Zoo, or so you didn't play Planet Coaster tutorial. Kind of like the things that are the same between the games and how to quickly build some things that look pretty decent, how to take advantage of what the game has to offer without going into too crazy amount of detail. Maybe I'll do like a beginner and then an advanced tutorial. Just like so this is how the game works, and this is how building works. And then these are some tips and tricks that I've learned over my now 3 years playing Planet Coaster. But anyway, you can see this bear exhibit's coming together. I think it looks pretty good. I'm no S. Dan Wolf. You should check out his bear exhibit. It's incredible. If you haven't already, be sure to go check out S. Dan Wolf. He is all about the zoo, and he is so good at making such creative things. But I'm really proud of where this ended up. I think it's the best exhibit I've made to date, but I've only made like 5, so be quiet. But anyway, we are about to end the video here. I hope you enjoyed. And these are a little shorter, I know, but I like the brevity, and it allows me to get more done and get more videos out to you. So you can expect that for the next couple weeks when it comes to Planet Zoo. So we are just about done. If you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave some comments below, tips and tricks you know since you've been playing or things you want to see. And with all that being said, have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever, and I will see all of you. Look at the big fat bear. I'll see all of you for the next episode of Planet Zoo. Take care, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.